Welcome back to Stompkin Cards. This morning I am going to be ripping some 89 score. 89 score, not a highly valuable set, but it was the sophomore effort by Score after they came out with a extremely ugly 88 set, which I think a lot of us probably ripped into as kids, but the 89 score set has a handful of rookies we're looking for. Of course, the Randy Johnson, John Smoltz, Edgar Martinez has a rookie in this set, as does Craig Biggio, Gary Sheffield, and Sandy Alomar Jr. But otherwise, the collectible cards, there's a lot of Hall of Famers in here. Ryan Ripken, Ricky Henderson, Gwynn, Puckett, Sandberg, Schmidt. There's a couple of Brett variations. One that says he's 33 years old because the folks at Score apparently couldn't do math, and then one that says he's 35 years old. Neither are considered rare. So it'll be interesting to see if we get one of those, and we'll see which one it is. And then you've got a few more Hall of Famers: Ozzie Smith, Greg Maddux, second year, Robin Yount, Chicken Man's in here. And then there's a handful of highly collectible cards that in high grades will at least give you the price of grading back, and that is Dale Murphy, Mark McGwire, Jose Canseco, Barry Bonds, Bo Jackson, and the great Don Mattingly. So I did open 3 packs of these just because I was a little anxious and wanted to dig in and see. And I did want to point out that I did pull one decent card already. It's the Craig Biggio rookie. And he did have a 88 score traded, but I don't count those weird one-off sets. Not much else notable in the first pack. I'll quickly go through. Nothing of value. And of course the throwing stars in here with the little baseball facts on the year to remember. The next couple I opened just to kind of get a familiarity with the set. I didn't really pull anything significant. Parker was obviously a big slugger. There's a Rafi Palmeiro third year, Pete Encavilla third year, Rafael Belliard, who I saw somebody on Reddit was looking for a Belliard autograph, or he had just got one. I'm assuming that was one of dozens of people looking for a Rafael Belliard autograph. All right, I did get a Mike Greenwell third year. Gagne was a decent player for the Twins. Of course, Langston, who had a solid career in the late 80s and then got traded for the big unit, who we are looking for in this set. Nothing else significant here. Pedro Guerrero. I always thought Pedro Guerrero was a hulk of a man. I flipped the card over. He's 6 foot 195. So not a small guy, but not nearly as big as I remember as a kid watching Pedro Guerrero. All right, let's now for real start ripping in and see what we've got. I don't know why they stopped using these plastic wrappers. You really can't tear them open and reseal them like you can the wax. I guess they're not as not as desirable, I guess. All right, you got a Walt Weiss second year, rookie of the year. All right, Greg Nettles. I like the way he spells his name. Got Don Sutton. There's a Hall of Famer that I didn't mention earlier. Don Sutton, I think, is only 1,000 years old in this picture. Let's set that aside. Mullenix from Oklahoma. Al Leiter. There's a cool highlight card. Wrigley Field. First night game. Oh, that's cool. Set that one aside. And then there's a highlight card of Wade Boggs. I don't know what his highlight was. Wade Waxham. I'm not going to read that to you right now. Yeah, there's some fun stuff in this set. All right. I think Sutton was one of the 300 win, 3,000 strikeout guys, if memory serves. Actually, you know what? Let me check that really quick. Because this card was, 3,500 strikeouts. And where's his wins? 324. Yeah, he had a hell of a career. Sutton was definitely one of the greats. All right, there we got another Hall of Famer. Maybe a controversial Hall of Famer to some. Reds shortstop Barry Larkin. He manned the position for years for Cincinnati. And a tradition of great shortstops in Cincinnati. Hey, there we go. Hall of Famer Mike Schmidt. I see a lot of these have like slightly dinged corners. This junk would not be something I would grade anyway, but it is kind of a fun rip and definitely a trip down memory lane. There's a fine rookie, Derek Lilliquist. I was a Braves fan growing up, so I always saved all the Braves rookies. And there's one of the decent rookies of the set, Gary Sheffield. I'll stick that one in the back. If you're watching this video and super jealous of ripping 89 score, you can rip your own if you're willing to spend about $20. It is a little bit to ask. All right, Hall of Famer for the Royals, Willie Wilson. There's a Greg Maddux. It's another standout Hall of Fame pitcher. A Roscoe. There's Rex Hudler. Felix Jose, and another Derek Lilliquist. So with that second Derek Lilliquist, if you're a Lilliquist collector, hit me up in the comments and I can make one of those yours. Actually, I'll make both of them yours. All right, here we go. Starting out hot with this pack. There's a Calvin Ripken Jr. All right, oh, here we go again. Another great player. He's highly collectible, but not in the Hall of Fame because the Hall of Fame voters suck. They'd rather put in Harold Baines than Dale Murphy, apparently. Another Hall of Fame guy, Ryan Sandberg. Brett Butler, Rafi Ramirez. Here's a guy who will probably also never see the Hall of Fame because of choices he made at the time, because he didn't want to be outshadowed by the likes of Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa, and he proved he could definitely do it better. Don Carmen, I think he's another guy from Oklahoma, if I remember right. Yep, born in Oklahoma City. Daryl Boston, first base coach. Hey, here we go. There's a John Smoltz rookie card. The top left corner is dinged on this one as well. But nevertheless, that is a Smoltz rookie that I don't think I already had. Or actually, you know what? I take that back. Yeah, that is a Smoltz rookie. For a second, I was thinking it was a second year, but yeah, that is the Smoltz rookie like I just said earlier. I picked up the Smoltz rookie in that 89 Topps Big set. I guess I'm on an 89 kick right now. There is a Jose Canseco. I think technically that's a third-year card, or maybe fourth-year card for Canseco. His rookie was in '86, but still a lot of people still collect Canseco. All right, there we go. Hall of Famer Tony Gwynn, one of the greatest to ever hold the bat. Lance Parrish was obviously a standout catcher for years. Not a Hall of Famer. Paul Molitor, another consistent slugger that is in Cooperstown. And then I got a second Wrigley Field first night game card. This rip is on fire. Only thing we haven't pulled yet, well, there's a long list of what we haven't pulled yet, but still no Randy Johnsons. There's Chris Sabo, another former Rookie of the Year. Hey, here we go. The Hitman, Don Mattingly. Don Mattingly for sure would have been in the Hall if his career had not been cut short due to injury. Still a ambassador to the game and obviously a great player. Similar to the likes of Doc Gooden. I think if he could have kept his nose clean, we would have seen him in Cooperstown as well. There's Don Baylor, had a long, successful career. Same with Tim Wallach. Jamie Moyer, who pitched for about 300 years, I believe. All right, got Bazio, Steinbeck, Doug Jones. I'm gonna have to make some room here in a second. I got too much product on the cabinet here next to me. These are not that easy to open. Looks like I got a second Paul Molitor. Nick Asaski. Lenny Dykstra. There's a character of the game. Devin White. Bruce Sutter. Hey, here's the quiz. When he went over and pitched for the Cardinals for a few years before his untimely death. Another Paul Malator. The quiz. I always wonder how some of the shutdown guys from the 80s would fare against the hitters today. I assume their strikeout numbers would go up because everyone is not afraid of striking out anymore. Here we go. There's another Hall of Famer I didn't mention, the great Eddie Murray. Another Rafi. Dickie Thon, Bill Pecota, Meacham, and Chuck Jackson. Yeah, this is pretty good. I've been hanging on to these cards for a couple of weeks, waiting to find some time to rip them, and had a few extra minutes on a Saturday morning. The first Saturday of February. All right, there's the Hawk, Andre Dawson. Always liked watching Andre Dawson play. Here's the other Ripken. Not going to say it. Cecil Fielder, great player. I like seeing the stats where it showed Prince Fielder and Cecil Fielder's stats next to each other. They had a lot of similarities. They ended their careers with very similar numbers. There's a lot of one-off stats that were also the same, which was pretty interesting considering. All right, there's a Mark McGwire. It's a fun card there. Obviously a Mark McGwire fan growing up, like most baseball fans. All right, oh, what do I sense after the Gary Var show? A second Smoltz rookie. This one doesn't seem to have the ding in that top corner, maybe a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. It's not focusing that well. Bottom has a little bit of the a rough ding on it though. These packs were sent to me loose. I bought them for cheap because obviously I'm not going to spend a lot of money on 89 score, but they were not even in the thin box that they came in, so I'm not surprised that it's a little dinged up. I don't know what the background of these packs were and where somebody had these things stored. Hey, look at this. Here we go. There is a big unit rookie. That's actually in decent shape. Maybe a couple of small blemishes on the corner there, but really not bad. It's still sharp. The centering is pretty decent. Pretty decent. All right. So got a couple Smoltzes and already got a big unit and still have a couple stacks of packs to go. I think these score sets had 660 cards in them, if I remember right. I could be wrong. Yeah, I think that was it. I think they went up to 660. And I think each one of these packs contains, what, 15, 17 cards, and I got 34 packs. So pretty decent odds. Always liked watching Von Hayes play. He was tall and thin and could hit the ball a mile. Don't fact check me. Hey, look at that. Back-to-back packs with very rare Randy Johnson rookie cards. I believe I looked up earlier in a PSA 10 that Randy Johnson goes for about 35 bucks. So if you want to roll the dice and pay $25 to get your card graded, you might be able to turn a... Nah, you're not going to turn a profit. Hey, here's another Hall of Famer, Alan Trammell. By the time you pay eBay fees, shipping, you're not making any money on a $35 card on eBay that you paid $25 to grade. Some people will grade for their personal collection. I guess people can do whatever they want to do. Got another Boggs highlight card. But if you really wanted that card in a PSA 10, just go buy it in a PSA 10. You're going to pay maybe $10 more, $15 more than you would if you rolled the dice to try to send it in, and probably get a PSA 9 when you do, if you're lucky. I'm sure a PSA 9 would sell for about $6. Only hardcore like player run collectors should be trying to pull those. Anyway, here's an interesting one. Denny Walling. Looks like it has a bullet hole in the top of it. I don't know if you can see that, but it's in there. All right, got a Alvin Davis, Steve Sachs, Robin Yount, getting a ton of Hall of Famers here. Greg Nettles. Another quiz. All right. I'm 15 minutes in. I hope you guys have a device that allows you to play this video at 2x speed. Bill Doran, that always reminds me of Doran from Major League. Dorn, I guess was his name there, but close enough. There's the great Keith Hernandez, star of the small screen. Hey, here's another BBWA rookie card. We got a Goose. Let's keep that Goose over here. Tom Browning, Red Sox, and hot rookie Van Snyder. All right, we're about halfway through. I hope everyone's still staying with me and glued to their screens here. This is a thriller. There is World Series champion Dave Stewart, Mike Scioscia. There's a Bobby Witt. If you look closely, you can see Bobby Witt Jr. All right. Hope you enjoyed that. Hey, look at this. We got the man himself, George Brett. Also has a hit from a ball peen hammer here in the bottom of that card. Let's see what age he is on this one. At 33, this is the error card. George Brett was not 33 in this photograph. He was 35. I wonder if you pull another Brett out of the same box, if you have a chance to get the other year. I'm assuming not. Usually they make the updates later on. There's Will the Thrill Clark, the Giants' favorite. I feel like I need that at 35 George Brett card now. Why? I don't know, because it's in fine print in the back. Here is Hall of Famer Ozzie Smith, the Wizard. There's Jim Rice. I don't believe Jim Rice is in the Hall, is he? He had a long and successful career, but I don't believe he is in Cooperstown. Maybe he is. I don't know. I don't remember. I'll look it up later. You can add in the comments to remind me how dumb I am. Junk Food Johnny reminded me this week that Gary Templeton is who St. Louis traded to get Ozzie Smith. Templeton had a pretty solid career. I mean, obviously not going to be enshrined in Cooperstown, but he was a hell of a good player. You got to take the risk sometime when you're doing some trades. All right, here's a Tommy Glavine. That's its second year Glavine card. Another Hall of Famer. Les Lancaster. As I'm reading through all these Hall of Famers, there's Hojo Galarraga, who is Galarraga in the Hall? I know we had this conversation the other day, and I think the response was everyone's in the Hall of Fame. I can't remember if the Big Cat is a Hall of Famer or not. There's a couple of these that I cannot recall, and so that's another reason I like ripping these cards. It gives me a chance to go back and say, wait a second, he was a great player. Represented a couple of teams in a mini of All-Star game, but did his numbers stack up to be placed in a plaque in Cooperstown? And honestly, I can't remember with some of these guys. There's a lot of folks like Jack Clark had great careers, but they were not Tim Raines quality, who later changed his nickname on the cards to Rock, which I always thought was a dumbass nickname, but whatever. Rock. Thought it probably sounded cool. Rock Raines. There's a Ron Jones rookie. I think in '89, a lot of young collectors were hanging on to the Ron Jones, thinking he might be the next Andres Galarraga. There's Big Bob Horner. Big Rob Deere. A couple of big old similar prototype sluggers. Struck out a lot. They were ahead of their time. Mark Langston and Carney Lansford. As a kid, I always confused Carney Lansford for Wade Boggs. There was I think an '83 card where they looked very similar, and I always confused them as a kid. There's Kent Tekulve, And if I ever could say there was a cooler pitcher, Kent takes the cake. As you can see, he's got his trademark shades on. Oh, here we go. Another Sheffield rookie. Sheffield had a hell of a career. I remember as a kid, everybody talking about the fact that he was Dwight Gooden's nephew, I believe. Oh, here's another pack leading off with Jack Clark and another Tim Raines. Looks like the collation stopped there, though. Bill Brennan, Chad Kruger, and Dwight Smith. All right, couple more stacks here to tear through. There's another big Von Hayes. I'm getting a lot of doubles in here. I'm not sure. There's a Hall of Famer, Sweet Lou Whitaker. Maybe a less popular Hall of Famer. There's the great Fernando Valenzuela, who passed away about a month ago. Valenzuela, also a World Series champion. Fernando Mania. That guy was electric and definitely had a lot of buzz he brought to the game. All right, Bream, Corey Snyder, another Horner. Roger McDowell, decent pitcher. Man, not a whole lot in that pack. I remember as a kid running down to the grocery store and buy a couple packs. I think they were probably 75, 80 cents or something like that at the time. And you'd get home and tear onto them and it'd be a pack like that. No Royals, which I collected as a kid. None of the big rookies. Very disappointing. All right, here's a Kirby Puckett. Another great ambassador to the game that's in Cooperstown. David Cohn, Cy Young Award winner. Another Valenzuela. And we have a Paul Zuvela. I do not remember Paul Zuvela. I guess we also had a Joe Carter in there. I didn't want to skim past him too much. Joe Carter was a hell of a player. All right, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I cannot remember. Carter's not in the Hall of Fame, is he? Or is he? All right, there's another one I got to go look up because I'm drawing a blank today on that. Next video, I'll have to really study my Hall of Famers ahead of time. I got the obvious ones. Hubbard, Chili Davis, Walt Terrell, Randy Myers, Pigpen, Ronnie Jones, Blankenship. Had a bit of decent pack back in '89, a little bit of speculation cards. All right, let's tear through the rest of these before everyone falls asleep here. Stillwell, Reardon. Hey, here we go. We got us a Nolan Ryan, the man who was robbed out of many a Cy Young Award, but probably the greatest pitcher, definitely of our generation, and yeah, maybe in baseball history. The guy was an Iron Man on the mound. I thought his longevity, there's Dave Henderson, was more impressive than what Ripken pulled off. I mean, obviously Ripken playing every single day was, very impressive. But man, no one could throw like Ryan with the longevity of what he did. Just there'll never be another Nolan Ryan. There's probably never going to be another Ripken either. I understand. Everybody gets hurt today, it seems like, constantly. There's that, this is kind of a great card. I like this one, that 88 series. I think everyone remembers the earthquake and the bridge collapsing. Baseball was obviously not the most important thing going on right then, but it was pretty exciting for that area at the time. It was a great series. I like that card. Had McGuire and Canseco representing at the time. Hershiser was throwing jewels. Kirk Gibson with a famous walk-off home run. Hey, here's Hall of Famer Gary Carter, one of the best catchers of all time. Yeah, we're still pulling cards here we haven't seen before. There is a Greg Jeffries, who is a whale of a player. All right, looks like we got about 4 more packs. So I'm sorry, maybe I'll go really slow so I can extend everyone's watching enjoyment. I deliver my subscribers what they want. High quality content. I got a second one of those World Series cards. Not much in that one. All right, guys, 3 more. Let's get this rip on the road. It's my wife's birthday today, so I need to go downstairs, pour her a cup of coffee, and give her a card. Come on. There's the nasty boy Rob Dibble. All right, 2 more. Let's get another Randy Johnson out of here. Shelby, Guy Eddie. Man, even the Hall of Famers have ran. As soon as I say that, there's Eckersley to pull us out of the Hall of Fame drought. Blauser. Here is Ken Griffey Sr. Ken Griffey Jr. did not have a card in this 89 score set. He was in the score update or whatever they called the set, as well as maybe I think they had a rookie set, or maybe it was rookies and update or something. All right, we've got Ellis Burks, Julio Franco, who played into his 70s. Ozzie Virgil. Here's another Hall of Famer, second baseman Robbie Alomar, and that is a second-year card of Alomar. Devin White, Bud Black. There's another Griffey. There's a great catcher of all time, Ted Simmons. I don't know if is Ted a Hall of Famer? I think he is a Hall of Famer, right? I think Ted Simmons is in the Hall of Fame. Caught for years for the Cardinals, and then Brewers and Braves. All right, folks, that is it. I hope you enjoyed seeing the 89 score set. I think it's a fairly successful rip. We got a Nolan, we got a Brett. Obviously had a couple of Bigiots, a couple of units that we were looking for. Had a couple of Smoltzes, a couple of Sheffields. I'd say we did very well. So, all right, guys, hope you enjoyed this one. Look forward to your comments below, and apologies for the length of this marathon session. All right, have a great day.